Hey guys, it's Miss Rush. So I just wanted to help you out with your advisory lesson today. We're going to learn how to calculate speed, or you should already know how to do this. It should be just a review. So remember that whenever you have a speed problem that you need to set up your formula triangle. And whenever you set up your formula triangle, remember this rule. Different colors divide, so green and yellow, you're going to divide, and matching colors multiply. So whenever you have two next to each other, two yellows, that's whenever you're going to multiply. So let's look at this graph right here. Okay, anytime you get a graph, you need to circle the y-axis title. Okay, so in this case, the y-axis title is distance right here. So you are going to circle this on your paper. Okay, it's the same graph on your paper. So that means whatever is being graphed is talking about the distance right here over the amount of time. Okay, and if you can look right here, the total amount of time covered here is 20 hours. So you're looking at the hours, and my whole distance is 14 kilometers. So you need to look at your units as well. Okay, now we're going to calculate speed at a given point. And the first point that we're going to look at is E. So E is right here, and you need to figure out, okay, what is the distance at point E? So distance, remember, is over here. You go across, my distance would be 12 kilometers. Okay, that's part of our formula triangle. Now we need to figure out the time. So if you look back at E, our time would be 14 hours right here. Okay, so we have 14 hours and we have 12 kilometers. Now we need to figure out our speed. Okay, if you look at your formula triangle, you draw your formula triangle, the 12 would go up here, the 14 would go down here, and since they're different colors, you're going to divide. The top number is always divided by the bottom number, even though this is a smaller number than this one. Okay, if you do divide them, you get 0.86 kilometers per hour. Okay, it would be 12 divided by 14. All right, so let's do another one, and it's not going to be at a single point. This one is actually going to be from C to D. So if we look at from C to D, and we talked about this yesterday, from C to D, this is going to be a constant speed. We did this in class yesterday. We talked about constant speed versus no motion versus walking backwards. And right here at C to D, that is going to be a constant speed. So what we first need to do, guys, is we need to figure out at C, what is my distance and what is my time? Well, at C, my distance would be, if you look over, 3 kilometers. And my time would be 8 hours. So my distance for C is 3 kilometers and my time is 8. It should say hours, not seconds. Okay, so that's for C. Now we need to look at D. D, my distance is 12 kilometers, and my hours is going to be also 12. Okay, that should be 12 hours. So my distance is 12, and my time is 12. So what do I do with these numbers that I have here? I have 4 different numbers. I have 3, 8, 12, and 12. What do I do with these numbers? What you need to do is think about is you're trying to figure out what's going on in that little time. From C to D, what is my speed? You have to subtract those two. You're trying to find the difference. You have to subtract your distance and you have to subtract your time. So you must subtract to find the average speed here. Okay, so let's look at this. So our distance, we know, was 12 here, and 3 here. If you subtract those two, you get 9 kilometers. So that's how much distance was covered from C to D. That's how far this person walked or ran. Now we need to figure out how much time passed in between C and D. So you would do the same steps. You would subtract. You would subtract 12, which is right here, 12 hours, minus my 8 hours, which it should be hours, okay? And you get 4. So I now have my 9 kilometers and my 4 hours, and because of this information, I can now set up my triangle. So it's a lot of steps that you have to do before you set up your triangle. And when you set up your triangle, it should be 9 here and 4 here. And when you do that, you can divide 9 divided by 4, because there it's a green and a yellow, and it's going to be 2.25 meters per second. So there's a lot of steps whenever you see this little dash between. Okay, we're going to do one more together. All right, so calculating speed between E and F. So if you find E right here, we can figure out that my distance is 12 kilometers and my time is 14 hours. So 12 kilometers and 14 hours, okay? And for F, which is way down here, my distance is 0. And my time is 20. Okay, it's okay that you got a 0 there. That's the right answer. Okay, and 20 hours is down here at the bottom. So now that we have these 4 numbers, we need to subtract them to figure out how far we traveled in between this time and how long it took us. So you must subtract to find the average speed. All right, so here we go. We have our distance, which is going to be 12 minus 0, which is 12. We have our time, which is 20 minus 14, which is 4. And we have our speed here. We are going to divide these two. Okay, and if you look, you have it set up 12 kilometers here. We had to subtract the 2 distances, which was 12 and 0. And we had to subtract our 2 times, which was 20 and 14. We got 4 down here. And then you must divide. So guys, it's a lot of steps that you have to do before you can get your answer. Okay, I want you to try one on your own. Okay, I did 2 with you, and you have to also answer describing the graph. Okay, if you need help, ask your teacher, or maybe have her pause on one of these little spots. Okay, all right, awesome job.